My abortion was one of the greatest acts of compassion I had ever committed.
Guys, this is public property with respect.
The truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. Hey everyone, welcome to Bold Reflections. My name is Jasmine, and today I want to talk to you guys about how a Facebook post inspired me to do this particular video. So the Facebook post was on my personal Facebook, and it was shared by someone who is a Christian, and it was a little joke meme post that was saying how back in the day you only had to worry about teaching your kids about the birds and the bees, but nowadays you got to teach them about the bees and the bees and the birds and the birds and the bees who say that they're birds but still have a stinger. It was a little lighthearted post. And the person who shared it got a lot of grief from people who obviously fall under the alphabet community or are allies of the alphabet community. And in the most loving of ways, said that she was so hateful and that look at her sins of the past and you're just spreading homophobia to the next generation. Just so loving, guys, so loving. So loving and so tolerant that people who want to follow the Bible's worldview and who want to share that worldview with their children are just open for hate. But let me show you guys the reality of where we are today and why such a post would garner so much hate, because this is the world we live in. So, first video. This video is a commercial for Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood, yes, the one and only Planned Parenthood that murders innocent children in the womb just because their mothers don't want them. This is the same Planned Parenthood we're talking about, just so there's no confusion.
Hi, my name is Lucky. I've had an abortion and I get gender-affirming care from Planned Parenthood. I wound up in a very, very difficult relationship, and within 3 months, I found out that I was pregnant. I was like, oh no. My abortion was one of the greatest acts of compassion I had ever committed. It was an easy decision, and it was a decision that for the friends I had told I was trans, they were like, get it. You know, that's fine. Like, great. You know, that's your decision. You want to finally begin your life. And it was just one of the best decisions I had ever made, ever in my life. I wish that more people understood that abortion is healthcare, plain and simple. It's important to talk about abortion in a healthcare setting, because I think that when we don't, we see abortion as this very, very uncommon, isolated thing. And it's not. It needs to be shared and it needs to be out there, just like any other thing that people go through. I tell my abortion story because people need to understand that it's not just a women's rights issue, it is a people's rights issue.
We are living in a world now that is not only completely okay with taking the lives of the unborn and then calling it a stigma when you stand up for those lives, but also the world where a biological woman can be so deluded that they take medications and have medical interventions that lead them to a lower voice register to try and sound like a man. And they kind of kept zooming into her chest, which it kind of looked like maybe they had surgery or maybe they're just a little smaller size. I don't know. But the promotion of these two worlds, the transgender delusion, because it is a delusion. This is not normal, nor is it right, nor is it loving to affirm someone's delusion. You wouldn't do it for an anorexic person. but you would do it for someone suffering from gender dysphoria. You wouldn't tell an anorexic person, hey, you are kind of fat. Yeah, you're 98 whole pounds. Time to get your liposuction done. Get that extra little fat removed from not so bony cheeks. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that because that's not loving. Loving is telling this person the truth because it will kill you. And by the way, the statistics for transgender people committing suicide 7 to 10 years after transitioning is 19 times higher than the rest of the population. Okay? So tell me how it's loving. Because when these people realize that actually chopping off our healthy breasts does not solve our dysphoria, does not make us feel happier. It might for a while, but it does not solve the problem on average. And this is why the transgender suicide rate is so high. It's not because we're sitting here and not affirming them. It's because the affirmation that leads to permanent damage is going to worsen the problem. So anyway, I think the most loving thing you can do is share the biblical worldview, because the biblical worldview is rooted in reality. God, our creator, the author of the universe, created us in his image, so therefore we are worthy of life. By the way, remember this is a Planned Parenthood video. So this biological woman is proud to share her abortion story, where she murdered another image bearer in the womb. Didn't even give them a chance for life so that she could pursue her delusions and sacrifice her child at the altar of self. That's what this is. And the merger of these two evils is exactly where we are today. So if you have not heard, I partnered with Michelle from It's Your Girl Saying, and we started a new podcast called So This Is the World, Christian Podcast. So if you like what you see in this video, you will absolutely love episode 1 that's dropping today. So I'm going to link episode 1 in the description. Please make sure you check that out. I'm also going to link Michelle's channel in the description because her content is super fun to watch. And if you can join up in the live streams and hang out with us, that would be awesome. A Christian man was arrested in Reading, Pennsylvania for protesting a pride event on a public street. This man is a pastor named Damon Atkins, and he was reciting a Bible verse when he was arrested. All right, and by the way, the person filming this, because I watched another interview with this pastor, and he said that the person filming him was not part of the group. He was actually another individual who just so happened to be filming this and walked in on this interaction. All right, guys, so let's take a look.
I don't care. This is public property. This is public property. You don't have to say you don't care. I don't. God, this is public property, and with respect. Oh, I'm respecting it. That's another. You know who's cheering for us? The people that are in hell. So you do you, and I'm going to do me. This is public property. You. God is not. That's it. God, this will be
Getting this on film.
Can I give him my bag? All the stuff's in. Yo, I'm going to need you to go to 128 and they're clapping. Brothers, man.
I cannot believe I'm watching this.
Altar. Oh.
My name is Enrique Castro. I'm the Executive Director of Grand Pride Celebration. And it is my
God bless you, brother.
I wish you all a happy Pride Month.
As you can see, this is the world we live in. The world that cannot tolerate the name of God. All he's doing is voicing his opinion to the people who most need it. These are people who are celebrating pride, the sin of pride. I mean, how on the nose is that? And they cheer when his First Amendment right was violated. This is what we've come to in America. This right here, where people are cheering that someone's First Amendment right is violated. It's insane. But when the totalitarian government that they are wanting so badly to usher in against Christians, against the right, the people who are opposing this woke agenda, when that then turns on them, there's not going to be anyone left to cheer. So just, this is where we're at. Now, I do want to show you guys I do want to share with you guys some biblical encouragement. Ephesians 6:13. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of the devil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything, to stand. And what a perfect example of this verse in that interaction with the pastor. Because he didn't cave. He didn't say, no, I'm sorry. I denounce God. I deny the Father because you guys, I don't want to get arrested. No, he did none of that. And he goes on to say that in the interview, it broke his heart that the people were cheering. I mean, it kind of, in a way, I'm not comparing this man to Jesus because no one can be compared to Jesus. But in a way, it kind of makes me think of like when Jesus was arrested, when Jesus was being persecuted, that there were people who were cheering for him, not knowing what they're doing. So with that being said, this is the world that we're living in. This is the reality. And the most loving thing that you can do is stand firm in truth. And if you are a parent, to raise, just like the Bible says, to pass on this to the next generation. It's our greatest role in life, is to disciple other people. All right, so that's all I have for you guys today. And as always, God bless.